Very good question from Mr. Ogutu.
The reality is that we are producing more people than we need in the job market. For example, when you look at doctors and nurses, it is not that we do not have enough doctors or nurses being produced. Yes, the numbers are not where we are in terms of United Nations numbers, WHO, of the number per people. It's that we do not have the capacity at this time to absorb all of them. So I see where you're coming up with your point. But I also want to change the mentality where we think that there is what people are thinking of brain drain. What is happening is this. You have, for example, in the ICT sector, a huge number of people that are ready to work, that even if we sent away 100,000 people in ICT, we would still leave this country with so many other people, 500,000, who are still looking for employment. So that thinking that if we are sending people away, we are depriving our country, is not really accurate. Because we have more people out of work who can go and work overseas without depriving our Kenyan local market. In our labor studies, we have not seen any cry by any industry saying that they are lacking people because people have left the country. We are producing people in TVETs, producing people in the universities, so we have a bulge of employment. Your Excellency.
Okay, can you address, there is also one question, Alfred, that people continue to say, are we going through a brain drain? Are we exporting our brain power? Or does it eventually amount to a brain gain? Can you explain that?
What usually happens is this. If you look at the countries that have really developed very fast, you look at, for example, the example of Singapore, China, Malaysia, Indonesia. What they did, these tiger economies, was to ensure that their people who went and worked overseas came back home. We are calling this labor mobility because when you're going to work, it doesn't mean that you're going forever. You're going to work for 2-3 years and come back. What we have realized is that when you go overseas, you're able to gain skills. When His Excellency was in Germany, we were talking about Kenyans going to work to produce the German vehicles. So you go to Germany as an engineer, you produce the vehicles for 2 to 3 years, then you come back home. What happens? You're bringing back new talent. Kenya is actually getting brain gain. You're bringing new ways of doing things. When you talk to the construction industry, for example, construction industry are now looking for people who have worked overseas. If you are a plumber, if you are a mason, if you are an interior designer, and you have worked in Dubai, the big companies working in Kenya want to employ you because your skills are a bit higher than the market, than the population in Kenya that is competing with you for the job market, because you have gained new skills. When you go to the UK as a nurse, you go to the US as a doctor, and you gain new skills in those hospitals that you're working in the US or in Italy and other places. When you come back, you're hot cake because of the brain gain.
Thank you very much. And I think just to buttress that point is that, the people going out, they are going out for short contracts. This is 3 years, maybe 5 years. After that 5 years, they come back home. And when they come back home with added skills. They have gained experience. They have worked in a different market. And most of the time, you find that they have improved on their skills. So it may look like brain drain, but eventually it becomes brain gain. That's what Alfred is saying.